Everyone who is waiting for Meme Review 2 is gonna lose their shit because this is the same world that I recorded the first one in. And I am about to fall off the edge here, so I'm just gonna scoot myself a little bit forward here. There we go, and now I can probably edit in the questions here on the side, right? So this is the xCirrex 2023 AMA, end of the year AMA. I have never done one of these before, so it's gonna be interesting. The way it worked is I sent out a Google form where you could ask questions and add your name if you want to. If you didn't add your name, I won't sit here and try to figure out who it is or call anyone out. I'll just call you anonymous. Now let's get started, right? Rocket begins by asking, do you like me? Yeah, I like everyone who likes me. Seriously though, what made you decide the multiple hit system for Laserdome 2, besides for skill gap? Good question. When I was in Germany this summer and some Americans came over, we played Laserdome in real life. And this laser tag arena had this multi-shot system and multi-health system. And I found it pretty fun. I thought a lot about it. And then, you know, as well, I wanted to make Laserdome a little bit not as solved. So changing things up in that way kind of felt natural. And it seems to be working pretty well. But yeah, it's all like the first game inspired by real-life arenas, basically. C2 asks, why the orange cat persona? So first off, I'm not sure what species this is. I like to call it a fox, but a lot of people think it's a cat, probably because of the ears and whiskers. But, you know, there's ain't no cat with a tail like this, you know? Or tracking as bad as I have. Come on, man. But don't worry about it. Like, my Sona is ambiguous. Like, it doesn't really have a species, I guess. But why orange cat? Orange is one of my favorite colors, alongside with purple and pink and most colors, honestly. But orange is probably the most favorite one I have, so I decided to go with that. Surami, Meme Review 2, also add Jitter Gun back. Yeah, context. More than a year ago, probably, I made Meme Review, which I just went through the memes and shitpost channel in the Discord, and that was fun, but it took me forever to edit, and I didn't find time to do it again. And now we have a backlog of millions of posts in there, but I've had asked some people to go through it and, you know, filter it a little bit to at least make it community based, not just loud memes. And the jitter gun will be forever lost in time, I'm afraid. Mostly not only because it's, you know, extremely hard to play with, it is also very, very unoptimized because it was physics based. And for anyone who doesn't know what the jitter gun is, it was back in Laserdome 1. I used two rigid bodies and a joint in between them, and the gun went like this when you ran around. It was impossible to aim with it, so everyone just hip fired and hoped for the best. Now, that's lost in time for the most part, unless we try something fun for like an April Fool's or something in the future. Frisch asks, if you could change something fundamentally about VR chat, as both a creator and a player, what would it be? So, as a creator, I have a very hard time imagining what I'm missing, because I don't know anything better than Udon Graph. For me, like, it's the perfect medium to work in because I understand it now quite well, and there is not much I would like to change. Fix the stations, make the station usable via chat. Come on, it's long overdue. We're all waiting for it. The pickups as well, they're also a little bit janky. Come on, man. Yeah, that's probably. It would also be pretty cool if VR chat had a little bit higher age restriction. But that's, you know, only intended for us who are above the age of 18 or whatever. That just want to get rid of all the loud kids in the public worlds. And that would be the main reason for me. I don't care much for the not safe for work community in this game. However, if that was allowed, it would be a fucking banger of money-making tools. Because that's how humans are, isn't it? Venture Lee Peck Also, excuse me if I mispronounce any of your games, I am Swedish. Do you agree that the basic rail beam is the best weapon in your game, Fate of the Earblast? If no, then I will do a whole nothing. I think that the best weapon in FTI is... I mean, I'm a little bit based. The first time I personally beat the Ether Lord, way back before the game was even released, I think me and Stormfox had a combination of like 3 auto lasers, upgraded auto lasers, and one other weapon I can't remember. So the upgraded auto lasers is always like, oh, these are fucking OP in my eyes. I know that there are better weapons, but yeah, it says which is the best weapon, damn it. The Balfagor scrap cannon is unbeatable. That is actually the most hardest weapon in the game, I think. Rumiraisu asked, what was it like creating Laserdome, and how do you feel about the process of Laserdome 2? What do you think so far? Will there be circles? Will the circles have numbers? Asking for a friend. I wonder who's your friend is. The circles won't have numbers, let's start with that. And creating Laserdome 1, I didn't have a following fan base, I didn't have a Discord, I didn't have anything. It was just pure out of interest, passion project that I wanted to make. So I didn't have a lot of inputs from others. The process now with Laserdome 2 is a lot different because there are a lot of opinions and a lot of playtests that we do that will give this game a different feeling, I think. I try to stay true to my visions as far as I can, but feedback is always something that is important. Maybe not, game-changing in many times, but it's definitely something I like to listen to. The progress so far is very, very good. I wasn't feeling it in the beginning really, but I have started to get that feeling that, yeah, Laserdome 2 is gonna be pretty neat when it's done. I still have a lot to go. A lot to go. But we're getting there. Next one. Sorry, I fell off the edge here, so I'm probably moved a little bit. And here comes a question that I'm not even gonna read because, stop being silly. Dark Swordsman asks, what keeps you motivated to work on projects? I find that I burn out really fast on most projects and never finish them. This is a really, really difficult question to answer because we're all individuals and we all need to find our own systems of working. In my case, I don't sit around and wait for motivation or passion to jump up. I set rules for myself, so I say I will work at least an hour a day on this. And usually when I do that, turn everything else off, work on only that, I will continue working for more than 1 hour because I have started and now I'm in solving some problems, and then I'm done, call it that day, and do that for a few weeks, and suddenly you will have so many ideas that you want to work on that you just don't even have to push yourself. Suddenly the passion and drive and motivation is all there right in front of you, and all because you just had rules that you set for yourself. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of projects that I gave up on or didn't finish or, scrapped, and that's fine. That's what it is. At least we learn something on the journey making it there that we can use in our future projects. A lot of people, when they're looking for motivation, they have motivation of, making a buck or making money from it, which never really was the interest for me, since I have a full-time job that I'm very decently happy with. So everything I make through Patreon here just going straight back into my hobbies, mainly the music part of it, because, synths are expensive. Next up, Ender. How do you come up with ideas or concepts for your VR chat worlds? I have come to terms with that everything that exists is based on something that really already exists, and that's fundamental to how ideas are grown, how societies move forward in their, evolution. And the same goes for many, if not all, of my projects that I make as well. Nothing is entirely original. Laserdome is based on real life laser tag that I played as a kid. Avivores is based on Worms, Armageddon mainly. Fate of the Earblast is based on FTI. I'm very, very clear about all of those. But when you take that idea and you make it your own, with your own process of making it and building it, and you don't take things from elsewhere, and you make it all from scratch yourself, that's when it becomes filled with your creative part, I think the concerts are a lot more ideas that I'm not sure what I based them from. Mainly because they are mostly just pure creative things that I have to get out of my system to like feel better about my general self, right? So they don't really have that much of a inspiration source. Main124 asks, why are you gay? Also, where are the pancakes? The pancakes, my friend, is in Navi Wars. You want it, it's there on the table, you know? That's where they are. And gay is just a normal state of human being that I am. Or more of a bi, honestly. Andromeda asks, so your OC Sona, right? Is their name just xCirrex? But also, is there any lore behind them, him? They, or at least a alternate universe of them, seems to exist in the Irblos universe. Is there an overarching xCirrex multiverse with that Sona at the center? Do the iridescent sigils have meaning, any lore? I gotta know. Wow. My Sona used to have a name when I made him, but nowadays I just call him xCirrex straight up and down because the other name doesn't really fit anymore. The lore behind him is... I don't know. I played one shot, liked Nico a lot. Had a Nico avatar in VR chat for the longest time. Then Jack Firefist made a Nico Nanachi, and then I took that and reskinned it. Kept the whiskers, kept the eyes, and now we're here, many years later. Is there an alternate universe of them? Not really. I tried to have some connection between my games, but only like, Connie Bomb in Navi Wars, and the Neon City can be seen from the Swamp Island, and things like that. But there's nothing like official between them. I usually make one skin for my avatar per game that I make because, you know, I'm the outgoing person who's talking about the game on Twitter and whatever else. And in the trailers, I guess. So Gronk in Fate of the Irblos is just a character that I wanted to play and had made with that model, which I think is amazing. That's all Senpai Seidan who made that. Is there an overarching xCirrex multiverse? I mean, you could say that, right? In the terms and in the nature of VR chat, where we have different worlds and instances, and I am in one form or another in all of these games. Except for maybe Avi Wars, I don't think there is a clear xCirrex persona in there, really. But, you know, Laserdome, I do the instruction video. Airblast, I do the instruction video, and I also help you set off with the ship. Duo Beats, I do the voiceover for the tutorial. And I am on the Patreon board. I don't know. It's maybe. That's a good question. I haven't really thought of it. Not intentional, no. Camo asks, when's the basic raid beam getting a nerf? My boyfriend is too obsessed with it. Does it really need a nerf? I mean, if you're skillful, you can use it to the end battle of the game, but, you know, that's something you gotta find out in the end. The balance in Irblos is very interesting. Like, the most expensive weapons isn't the best ones necessarily, but you want to find a combo of them all, which you all know by this point. But when the game was released, people didn't know that, so they were struggling, and new players do as well when they play for the first time. They struggle getting past Connie 1 and Connie 2, and then some time in Sector 5 they replay the game. That's the whole point of it. They find the best combo through playing and failing all the time. So the Ray Beam probably won't get a massive nerf anytime soon. We'll see. I have, just as I said before, working on Laserdome 2, I have plans, but nothing that is more in the works than just a little bit part of my brain thinking this would be cool. So we will see. Subject Kits asks, what's your favorite Irblos faction? Gotta be the Balfagors. Yeah, the capitalist frogs. Nick Retro asks, is it okay to ask multiple? Of course. First one, how's music production going? Pretty good. I am currently hardcore preparing my actual live set that I will be doing in late February at a live scene in a furry convention, NFC in Sweden. If you're there, come catch me. It's gonna be fun. So it's going good. I haven't started working on my next album yet, but I have a feeling that my next album will take a lot of the building blocks that I'm making for this live set and make them into actual songs, because there are a few bangers in there already. Any plans for your other virtual concert? Yes, I will try to do one once a year, at least. Now that I have this live one, I will have to focus a lot on that. Otherwise, usually at this point I would start working on my next concert, but now that I have a real life one, it will be a little bit delayed. Probably late year, next year. Second question, will Laserdome 1 be long forgotten as Laserdome 2 comes out? No. Laserdome 1 will be there in its own standalone right, because Laserdome 1 is very, very different from Laserdome 2. The reason this question comes up is because I took Laserdome Neon City, and shoved them all into one package, which is now Laserdome. So the other two maps or worlds got lost, but they were all included in one set. Laserdome 2 has a completely different fundamental map building process, respawn process, gun play. All of it is different, so I can't merge them together. And I do really like Laserdome 1, and I do really like Laserdome 2, and I'm pretty sure that people will be jumping in between them every now and then. Third questions. Do you plan on updating FTI after you finish Laserdome 2? Or an Avivors update? Yes, and maybe, and yeah, and something. I don't know yet. As I said before, I have ideas and plans that I really want to do, but we will see after Laserdome 2 comes out where I am then, because something else might have popped up that I find more interesting. Last question. When's the next Beam review? I don't know. Seabed Plateau asks, iron sights for Earbloss pistol? Probably nah. Anonymous, out of pure interest, are you a furrow? Do you consider yourself one? Many of you would probably expect me to say a hard hands down, yeah, of course. And part of me also do. But the other part of me thinks that since I'm only in virtual world, being this, maybe not as hardcore as a full suitor is. I mean, I think they have a lot higher privilege to call themselves a furry when they do that kind of stuff. I do love the fur community. I will go to the fur conventions when I can. So in that sense, yes, I share the openness of the community and the general just be who or whatever you want to be kind of philosophy. I think that's great, and I think everyone should be a lot more open to it. It's not that fucking weird, right? Another anonymous, Jittergun when? Jittergun has been and won't be. Fax Machine asks, how do you feel about your avatar's whiskers being treated like a fidget toy? And that's because Fax always goes around and poke these. And if I did know avatar things a lot better, I would put little notes on them so that you could play actual melodies on them, but I'm not that knowledgeable in avatar creation, so probably not soon. But do I have a problem with it? No, I don't. Turning left. I'm continually amazed at your ability to take limited controls of VR chat and use them fashionably well, such as Dubik having sideways beats and the shooting targets to add variety into a locked system. Thank you. That was a little bit complicated to make. Therefore, my question would be, how do you come up with such creative ways to utilize other limited systems? From constraints comes creativity. When we have a very small thing to work with and we want to make something bigger than it, we have to start being creative, and from that small thing, in my case at least, creativity is born. Like, how can I solve this with these tools that I have available for me? There's no references on how to do it because nobody has done it before. So how can I solve it? And that's how I come up with my jank solutions to it. If you knew how I detect that you are tilting the gun in Duobeat, you would probably go, why the hell did you do it that way? And the honest answer is because I didn't think of a better way to do it, because I don't know any better. I don't let my lack of knowledge or janky solution stops me from keeping them and being happy with what they are and how they perform, because on the surface they work. Underneath the surface they can work however the hell they want. It doesn't bother me, because other people won't have no idea of how it works anyway. So yeah, I'm never sharing my code. xCirrex lover XOXOXOXX asks, Will there be a 12 days of Sapmas in Duo Beat? Probably no. Maybe next year, who knows? Vinny's Daddy, I wonder who this can be. Will there be Team Battery All mode in Laserdome 2? Hopefully, I want there to be. I badly want there to be. We will see. I badly want it. Meme Master Hex, Meme Review 2. When? Best only with Laserdome related memes. That's the thing. There are so many other memes that are, first of all, copyrighted music in them, and second, just I don't get them. But yes, if people make more memes in the community that we are, even hell about me or whatever, then, you know, it would be a lot easier to make meme reviews. As I said at the top of the video, it probably will happen sometime. Kinda. Maybe. I shouldn't say that. Shh. Anonymous, will you be posting the FTI loops of VDGL blah 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 funk? No, I don't think I will. The full song is on the album Iridescence, and that's what it's going to be. Another Anonymous, what was the best trip you went on? This year? Wow. I was gonna say Aphex Twin in Denmark, but then also the Germany trip, which was the other trip I did, and Amsterdam in the same go. Dude, Amsterdam is beautiful. And then we also have the birthday trip I did to see Oliver Tree and was in Edinburgh. And I think the Glasgow-Edinburgh trip was the most fun one. But it's hard. The Germany and Amsterdam also was really, really good. I can't say. All of them were great. I went on 3 trips. And all of them were great. I had no bad experiences. Max, favorite tournament moment from this year? The Poke and Navi Wars. The Poke Wars. Chromium, out of all the projects you have completed and built upon this year, which one of them is the one that stands out the most to you, or that you're the most proud of? The concerts, probably, because that's so me-coded, and I'm very, very proud of it. And somehow I also took home the Raindance Immersive or Spirit of Raindance award with it, and the other projects as well, I guess. But yeah, that's the one that I feel it, like I'm representing the hoodie that you can buy, by the way, over at Bonfire. If you want to be wearing a hoodie like this. The print will always look different because they have shitty printing factories. But that's what it is. Damn, got a little bit of an ad in there as well. Nice. Anonymous, xCirrex, when will you release Dota 2 Hoodwink? Hoodtwink even. Edition Airblast map, where I can play Hoodtwink, but it's actually a dating sim. You know, unironically, I have thought about maybe we should be able to make some kind of MOBA game in VR chat. But that would be a challenge, to say the least. I hope that answers your question. Hoodwink is the best hero in Dota, though. Blackout asks, of all the songs you released this year, which one is your personal favorite? And what's the story behind it? The last song on Iridescence, the Blood Sample song, is my favorite one. I started working on that when I was out on a island with my dad and sister, where there is no internet, there is barely electricity, there is no plumbing, like the whole island is like stuck in 1960s. And I sat there on the porch, I had some whiskey with my dad. They went to go crab fishing, I stayed on the porch and brought out my tracker and just made most of the song on the tracker there and then. And it was a vibe, watching big boats drive by from the presents as we were sitting in a time capsule from the 60s. It was a vibe, and the whole song's vibe from that day really, really is close to me. Jack Assfists, Meme Review 2 when? Rexy asks, how often do you go for a run around your neighborhood? Every other day since August 21st. I've done that. And I'm not really running in the neighborhood though, I'm running in the wooden trails behind my neighborhood. But I have started to run on more interesting paths now, and I have also started to scout interesting places to run at this coming summer, which I'm really, really excited about. I think I'm gonna become a little bit more of a outdoory hiking person this summer, because there is a lot of Sweden that I haven't seen apparently. Just by running I have realized that. We do have some pretty beautiful places around here. The Red Cloak. What was your personal favorite project that you have worked on and why? Ooh. The project that I'm most proud of is probably Avi Wars because of its technical solutions and making it work. But it's probably not my personal favorite project. I think that would fall down to Irblos, honestly. Because building that and making the universe with my friend and collaborating with him to make the lore and the events happen and all that, getting the whole game to sync up together, playtesting it in the beta version of it was so much fun. That would take it home. I mean, my entire journey here in VR Chat for all the games I'm making, I consider to be one massive project in general. I know it's a little bit cliche, but honestly, everything I learn from every game I use in the next one. So it is one continuous timeline and project. I think that's it, and that's the last question as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had your questions answered. I will probably be doing another one of these next year. I was planning on making this to be like a live stream thing, but that would be a little bit too much pressure since there is already a lot of going on, and I will just have to sit down and edit this instead. Yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.